why is networking so darn hard? It shouldn't be. It should be easy. It should be really simple. We're humans, we're social creatures. Surely there's a way to make networking easy. So why is it so difficult, and why are we struggling with it all the time? Well, first of all, we often confuse the concept of networking with the concept of being sociable. I am not a sociable person. I like my own company. I like the company of a very small group of circle of friends who I can be very authentic, humble, and vulnerable with. I don't like being fake around people, and I really don't enjoy being around networks where I have to be fake. So for me, it is a struggle to network, but I've increased my muscle over time to be able to be a more effective networker. But you don't have to be sociable to be a good networker. In fact, they're completely unrelated to each other. You can be a fantastic networker just because of the fact that you have a plan and a strategy to go into networking functions all the time that doesn't require you being the bubbly personality person. Honestly, the bubbly personality person drive introverts like me absolutely mad because they're frantic, they're manic, they're too much. So you don't have to be mega sociable to be a really, really good networker. That's the first myth I want to bust in here today. Secondly, networking events are often focusing on things like social activities and icebreakers, which for people like me, and maybe you as well, makes us sort of crawl into our shell and just not want to come back out again because we find it so irksome and so annoying and so, we don't want to really be part of it. It's just something that doesn't interest us at all. So what we do, we crawl back into our box and we don't take part in it. What this means is that maybe, you need to go to a different kind of networking event that doesn't focus so much on the social aspects, but more on the networking and business aspects. We also don't tend to start networking at number 3 until we need it the most. Until we go, I need help in my business. I need to network. Oh, quick, go out and find a network and join it. So what we've done is just walked on into a network hoping to solve all our problems. We come in with an air of desperation or an air of, I'm going to promote myself to the wazoo to make sure everyone knows in here what I do and who it's for. That's not what a network is. It's not just about you telling everybody what you do in the hope that someone's going to buy from you. In fact, a network is most effective, not with the people who are in the room with you, but the people that they know that are never going to be in that room because they'll be able to refer you to those people. So getting in as early as possible in your business to network is something that's really valuable because it sets you up for success rather than using it as an ambulance for fixing up broken businesses, because it's not very good at that at all. Number 4, we're all so very busy. We've got lots going on. We've got kids, we've got pickups, we've got committees, we've got soccer clubs and ballet recitals, and we've got school things, and there's so much going on in our businesses. And I haven't even mentioned the business stuff yet. So trying to get time to go and network feels a little indulgent. I understand that. I've got a very busy life as well, but I go to 4 or 5 networking functions a month because it's so important to the growth of my business that I have to do it. Number 5, we often struggle to ask for help. It's a pride thing. We don't want to be having to be the person who's always turning up and going, help me, I'm just struggling, I'm drowning again. So this whole thing, if you're someone who isn't used to being vulnerable, isn't used to asking for help, it's going to be a struggle for you. You're going to find it hard to work into a network where particularly they want to be able to help you and they want to be able to identify where your struggles are. Number 6, we tend to start and stop a lot. We'll go to a networking function in January, but then we won't go until March, and then we'll miss a whole bunch of months until it's July, and we'll go again, and then it's October business month or small business month, and it's like, I should go along to that event. You stop and start. People go, I haven't seen you in months. That's usually the sign that you haven't been networking properly and networking enough, is if people say, I haven't seen you for months in a network that has events every month. That's when you know you got a problem. So we tend to start and stop a lot, which tends to slow us down in that process, because it's just like trying to learn how to ride a bike or drive a car. You don't do it by parking the car and not driving again for a month and then getting back in and learning again how to drive. You lose those. If you don't use it, you lose it, especially with networking. Networking is also relational, not transactional. And some of us like to think in terms of transactions. I give you this, you give me that. I put in 25 cents to a machine. I get this out of the vending machine. We want it to work like that. We want it to be, here's a formula, here's a process, do this, and then out of networking, I get this return on investment. It doesn't work like that because it's relational. Relational means that you're going to have to build relationships with people in order to be able to get into their networks. It's not about getting just into the network where you're going to be talking. You also then need to be able to work with the networks outside of that too. Number 8, We don't see our customer in the network, so we tend to give up. If we turn up to a network and go, I can't sell to any of these people because they don't need what I've got, that's a really short-sighted approach, because the customer is the person that they know. Remember, when you go to a network, it's not about the person you meet, it's about the people that they know. So you've got a really good opportunity to let someone know who you are, what you do, and who it's for, so they can then, in their mind, you can see it working over time to connect what you are and what you do with people they know who need that particular product or that service. Number 10, it feels fake. Oh, it really grinds my gears when there's these little icebreakers and social things and falling down on each other and Tony Robbins walking on hot coals crap that people go on about. It feels so fake. It feels so staged. It feels so inauthentic. And that's a massive problem for me, because one of my core values is to be authentic when I'm doing these things. So when I'm not authentic, I feel really irky. Number 10, it can be a barrier because there's race, gender, language, identity, and disability barriers there. There's nothing like walking into the boys' club as a gay man and knowing very much they know I'm the gay man and treating me differently because I am the gay man. I don't strike that a lot because I don't present initially as a gay man to people in the same way that people might have a preconception of the behavior and the appearance and the speech intonations of a gay man. But it's there. It's always something going to go. Now, I'm not even in a vulnerable minority in that case. I'm not someone who wears their identity as the color of their skin. I'm not walking in with people automatically going, you're Indigenous, therefore I have a preconception. You're African, therefore I have a preconception. You are a woman, therefore I have a preconception. There are definite barriers in networking organizations when it comes to this. And very few of those networking organizations and events have any kind of focus upon inclusiveness and diversity, let alone the ways of treating people in terms of their identity, knowing what pronouns are and how to work with addressing people with pronouns or without pronouns. There's a lot of work to be done in that. And I can see why some people who are from diverse races, genders, languages, identities, and abilities are feeling a little bit like this place is not really for them. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and it can be done. So some takeaways from this section would be that networking has a purpose, and it has to have a purpose. It will take some effort. It's not like all networks are equal. You're not going to find everything in the one network you go to. There's many networks to serve you, even in smaller towns and smaller regional centers. And you've got to not treat going to networking as fishing for clients. You've got to look at it as you're fishing for people who will refer you to your future clients in the future. And that means you've got to connect. You've got to do a little bit of socializing, not a lot. You can actually get away with just making it very, very rigid and very methodical. In fact, it's the way most people do it. But understanding that people really do want to meet you and they're looking forward to meeting you will really help you to become a better networker.